She defended herself by striking back. The unwavering strength and tenacity of these women carried this movement forward in the fight to secure voting rights for generations to come.
There are many Americans who paved the way towards voting rights for all and aren't recognized by name for their bravery. The movement found new direction when Jimmy Lee Jackson was shot and killed by an Alabama state trooper in February 1965. His death provided the spark to display to the nation for the right to vote. Sunday, March 7, 1965, more than 600 gathered at the Emmett Pettus Bridge. A sea of Alabama state troopers attacked and deployed tear gas. Hundreds were injured and millions were horrified by what they witnessed on television. Dubbed Bloody Sunday, this moment served as a national wake-up call and a catalyst for change for all Americans. As tensions in Selma were reaching an all-time high, the president was called to act.
March 15, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson faces the nation. I speak tonight for the dignity of man and the destiny of democracy, and we shall overcome. With those words, the president stood with the civil rights movement. 6 days later, they marched, Selma to Montgomery. Viola Lee Uzo, a white mother from Detroit, was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan for helping. They reached the Capitol anyway. 25,000 stood together. Black, white, united. August 6, 1965. President Johnson signs the Voting Rights Act. Voices once silenced now echo across ballots and chambers. From silence to speech, from exclusion to power, from Selma to justice.
The Civil Rights Movement in 1965 marked a year of both triumph and turmoil. The Selma marches and the tragedy of Bloody Sunday led to the passage of the Voting Rights Act, a major victory against systemic racism. However, the assassination of Malcolm X in February dealt a devastating blow, silencing the powerful voice for Black self-determination and global human rights. His death, along with growing frustration over slow progress and continued violence, helped fuel the rise of the Black Power movement, which emphasized racial pride, self-defense, and a more militant approach to achieving equality. Together, these events signal a shift in the movement, from peaceful protests to a broader, more forceful demand for justice and empowerment.
Wow. Did you all know that about 1965? What a critical year in civil rights history.
I'm so glad the National Civil Rights Museum reminds us that history is both struggles and triumphs, which is a great segue into what's next. Now, it's time for the Legacy Reimagined. Here, we'll have an important conversation with 34th Freedom Award honorees and learn about their civil and human rights leadership journey. It's a privilege to hear their perspectives on issues any one of us may face at one time or another, and opportunities that can sustain us and help us grow. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Mark H. Oriel, Dr.
change. Grew up in the cradle of the civil rights movement, born into a city which was segregated in the late 1950s, but born into a family that was in the forefront of civil rights change. My parents, they met 3 weeks after the decision of the Supreme Court in Brown versus Board. And my parents bonded over that, and their lifelong commitment, in addition to raising their family, was to promote social and economic change in New Orleans, in the South, and the nation. So I grew up in that environment where my parents were on the front lines. My father was the NAACP branch president, as well as working in the courts to dismantle segregation in 1982. My mother was an activist in her own right, a union activist, a teacher union activist. My father was involved in civil rights. He was the first African American to do literally everything he did. He was the first black to be elected to the state legislature since Reconstruction. First black trial court judge, family court judge, first black state appeals court judge, before he became the first African American mayor. So by the time he became mayor, he became the first black graduate of Harvard Law School. He was the first black legislator. He was always pushing the envelope. And my father had incredible attributes, but my mother was an anchoring person. You know, we were brought up in an environment that encouraged this pride.
Mark Morial became National Urban League President and CEO in 2003. He looks back at how he started and where he is now.
Well, I came here to transform the nation. Make no mistake about it. That's why I was hired. New strategy, completely new brand. Look, a brand new headquarters that we own. A legacy project here on 125th Street that is the type of project that no other civil rights organization, no historic African American organization has ever undertaken to build a $250 billion mixed-use real estate project in the heart of the most important black community, perhaps in the world, certainly in America.
What does it mean to get a Freedom Award?
So I'm absolutely humbled and honored to be recognized. And I will receive that award not just as Mark Morial, but as Mark Morial representing a generation of freedom fighters, civil rights leaders, equal opportunity advocates who work and live today to try to carry on that vision and working and passion and fight for a better nation and a better world.
The National Civil Rights Museum proudly honors Mark Morial with the 34th Freedom Award.
And we're so happy to have you with us on today.
Thank you.
Everyone, Mr. Mark Morial.
Thank you. My time to talk. Is it really my time to talk? First of all, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me first thank Russell Wingington and the board of the museum for recognizing me and honoring me. I want to thank the staff and the team for its graciousness and welcoming me last night as we walked through the museum to see the stories being told with accuracy, with truth, and with power. And also a very special thanks to my colleague here in Memphis, Gail Carson, who leads the Memphis Urban League. I want to thank all of you. I want to talk, young folk, let me talk to you. Are y'all feeling energized or feeling bored? I'm going to ask y'all to come stand up right now. Stand up for 10 seconds. Stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be seated. I just have 3 things I want to talk, and if I can address them today. And it is to offer 3 words, all that begin with the letter First is the word aptitude. Aptitude. Say aptitude. Aptitude. So aptitude is about you using your God-given ability to the fullest extent that your humanity allows you to. Everyone is born with ability and talent in some way, shape, or form. Can you find that talent deep down within you? And then can you commit to making it the best that you can be? We see great musicians. They stand up and perform before us. They make it look effortless and it's beautiful. What we don't always realize is behind that when years and hours of rehearsal and work and stumbling and fumbling and trying. But what they did is they never, ever gave up on developing their aptitude. We see great ball players. They fly through the air with the greatest of ease. If they're basketball players, they dunk. They go under their legs and behind their backs. We marvel at this great ability, but they started with God-given aptitude, and they worked and they developed that aptitude to the fullest extent. Young people, never cheat yourself by not identifying your aptitude and then developing your aptitude because you can and will be great. The second A is attitude. So if you have aptitude in a funky attitude or a bad attitude, you will not go anywhere. So attitude is how we think about ourselves. Do we think about ourselves with pride and greatness? And attitude is how we interact and treat others, how we engage, how we speak, how we respond, how we respect. It's hard sometimes to hold a good attitude when life is tough and things are hard. And it's hard to sometimes hold a good attitude if you are around people with a bad what? Attitude. So to be a vessel of a good attitude requires internal strength. That I'm not going to let the bad attitudes become contagious. I'm going to be a good attitude that becomes contagious. So attitude with aptitude will get you to your goal. And the third word is agency. Say agency. Agency. Say agency. Agency. I want you to think about agency as whether you have the ability to sometimes step a little bit ahead of the crowd and be a leader. Sometimes step ahead of the pack and communicate or by example lead the way in informal and formal ways. Hey, sometimes guess what? You got to study. You got to get prepared for a test. And sometimes you have that friend say, hey, let's roll over here, let's roll over there. You can forget that study or you can do it later. Or sometimes you have friends that want to guide you into dangerous territory. Do you know what I mean? Agency means can you step away? Can you be yourself? Can you lead the way? Can you lead by example? The civil rights champions who are recognized in the National Civil Rights Museum demonstrated in every respect people with aptitude who matched it with attitude, who demonstrated agency. They had to step out and take a risk. They had to have a positive attitude about change in difficult times of a segregated America, of threats of violence against them, threats of you will lose your job if you step out. we learn from them is that they had the courage to confront fear, that they had the courage to draw from their what? Number one, say it, my aptitude. Say my aptitude. And my attitude. To demonstrate what? My agency. Say my agency. So we learn important lessons. Civil rights is not about nostalgia. Today, there's an assault on civil rights. We celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. Yet yesterday, the United States Supreme Court, in an act of almost insult to the legacy of John Lewis and Lyndon Johnson, was in there discussing whether the Constitution of the United States rendered the Voting Rights Act unconstitutional. My. I don't want to get into a long discussion on that, except to say today, this work and these doors that have been opened by generations are now under threat. So more now than ever, it will require your aptitude and your attitude and your agency to continue this work and this fight. Young people and students, that is what it is all about. That is what it is all about. You can be great because you are great. You are great because God destined you to be great. You just bring your aptitude and your attitude and your agency, and we can all be great. Thank you for this award.
Let's hear your story.
I must say, I'm one of a kind. I was born in North Memphis. I stayed in North Memphis until I moved. Actually, you think about it, until I moved where I am right now.
Velma Lewis Jones grew up in segregated Memphis, where as a child, she learned two things at once: the beauty of community and the barriers that tried to contain it. She saw the brilliance in classrooms that lacked resources. She felt the heat of injustice in the everyday, but she withstood because of her loves, her community, her lifelong profession, and her family. She was an only child.
But I always had a lot of cousins. And my cousins were like my brothers and sisters. Many times we grew up in the same house, or next door to each other, and most of the time in the same community. Because that was what it was like being who we were and who we are.
She graduated from Manassas High School in 1948, received her Bachelor of Education degree from Lemoyne College in 1952. She chose education, not simply as a profession, but as a platform, a front line for dignity. She taught, mentored, and led with the clarity that excellence is a right, not a privilege. She believed our children deserve teachers who were supported, schools that were strong, and futures that were open.
I never really thought about it other than living and making life better, not just for me, but all of those around me. I love for people who got to love each other, to learn to appreciate who we are, where we are, who they are, and everybody can make a contribution. I don't regard it as what level you are. Everybody can make a contribution, and everybody does. It may not be the one we want.
Teacher advocate, mentor, friend, thank you for proving that the heart of a community can also be its backbone. Thank you for showing us that education is the architecture of liberation and that persistent, patient love is the strongest cornerstone. The National Civil Rights
Everyone, Dr. Velma Lois Jones. Dr. Jones, we are really honored to meet you. We will have questions for all of you guys, but right now we'll be moving into our final Freedom Award honoree.
The final Freedom Award honoree will be today is Mr. Mark Susan. Mr. Susan, we've really been looking forward to meet you and to have you with us. Let's hear your story.
I'm a husband, a father, a leader of a foundation, but above all, a human being like other human beings, just trying to do the best I can, both for my family, my community, but also really the world. I was born in Johannesburg, really the absolute peak of what we now know as the apartheid era, at a time where we were just aware that it was in this very distorted society that was built on an edifice of designed, deliberate racial injustice.
His father is an academic, his mother is a sculptor, but the person who most influenced his career was his great aunt Helen Suzman.
Helen was, for many years, the only member of the South African Parliament who was anti-white. She was also the only woman, the only Jew, and she stood up for justice. And she was one of the very few people able to visit Mandela in jail. She exposed the ugly side of apartheid that the government was trying to cover up, and that was a huge influence on me.
What was Mandela's superpower that helped shape Mark Suzman's worldview and career?
I'm lucky enough that I got, several chances to meet and interact with him over the years after he was released from prison in 1990. He knew how to reach out, and that was his superpower, was to reach out, build bridges across multiple conflicting viewpoints. That period had huge violence going from the white right wing, far black left wing, lots of ethnic violence between different groups, and he really stood above and beyond all of that. He reached out and stood on core principles that built bridges.
When you visit the Gates Foundation, you'll see its mission carved on the building. Every person deserves the chance to live a healthy and productive life.
That sounds simple, but when you stop and think about it, you realize so many people in the US and around the world who simply do not have that. Where you live and where you're born often does determine if you live and what opportunities you have, and that's a world we want to change.
Mark Suzman is a scholar with a doctorate from Oxford and a summa cum laude graduate from Harvard. How does he feel about what's happening in Harvard?
Universities are places for debate, for protest, for discussion, as well as learning. With Harvard and other universities around the country at the moment, that clearly is under threat right now. And I, certainly from my personal perspective and from the perspective of the Gates Foundation, where we support universities with funding, we think it's critical for a thriving society that you have higher education community that has the freedom and flexibility and opportunity to provide the learning, to do the research, to provide the opportunities for students that has been the bedrock of US success and dynamism for well over a century.
The National Civil Rights Museum proudly honors Mark Suzman with the 34th Freedom Award.
question portion. Let's take a few questions from the students in our audience. These students are extraordinary voices for our community, and they're ready to ask each of you some awesome questions. Let's go to our first audience question, and this one is for Mr. Mark Morial.
Good morning, student forum. My name is Carlos Walker from the junior at D. Memphis East High School. My question to you, Mr. Morial, is as an aspiring politician myself, how did growing up in New Orleans prepare you to be the city's youngest mayor and a public official and best serve its citizens?
Thank you very much for the question, and good luck in your pursuits. I had the opportunity to work in political campaigns literally from the time I was 8 or 9 years old. Since my father was an NAACP lawyer and a civil rights leader, I found myself at 4, 5, and 6 in his childcare, following him to NAACP meetings, to church rallies at churches. I didn't really have a sense of where I was in those days. Later on, when he entered politics, it seemed like we were always campaigning for either him or somebody else. From the time I was 8 or 9, until the time really I ran for office myself. I think that exposure, so for young people who want to be involved in politics, I say get involved in a campaign. Get involved in a campaign for somebody you believe in. Volunteer, be involved at the grassroots level. It gave me a chance to knock on doors, to put up signs, to participate in organizing events, even if I was a guy just carrying the signs, carrying the boxes into the place. It was exposure, and the lesson is for the grown folk in the room, providing exposure to our young people, whether it's in a political campaign, whether it's in a law firm, whether it's in a foundation, whether it's in a medical office, whether it's in a governmental office, for them to see at a very early age what people who work in a particular line will do is so important. So, get involved in a campaign, for a state, local, or national campaign for somebody you believe in.
Thank you, Mr. Morial.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you so much for the words of encouragement. It's important to get involved. Next, we have another question from the audience, and this one is for Mr. Mark Sussman.
Good morning, Mr. Sussman. My name is Christian Love, and I'm a junior at Los Angeles. I just wanted to ask you, why is the work that you do with the Gates Foundation so necessary and important in our world today?
Yeah, well, thank you, and thank you to everyone for being here. And it's humbling to be with my fellow honorees and with all of you. And the key thing is what you just saw in that video, that phrase that is carved in our world, the belief that every person deserves the chance to a healthy and productive life. And again, just stop and think about that. At some level, that just feels, you go, of course that's true. Yet we live in a world where that is not true every single day. That where you are born should not determine whether you live or die and what opportunities you have. Right now, today, there are kids all over the world dying of completely preventable diseases, not getting access to basic education, not getting access to the opportunities they need. And that is true here in the US as well. And so one of the reasons why at the foundation we think that we try to make that then concrete. How do you turn that vision into action, into impact, into something that changes lives? And that is something that really, for everybody in the audience today, there is something concrete, tangible you can do, starting by learning and whatever topic it is. But then, the action can be the political action. It can be the action of teaching and engaging. It can be the action of working in healthcare. It can be the action of working to support farming. That's an area that we work in globally. But for all of that, the role of the foundation we see is enabling partnerships for others, for communities, for leaders within communities, for students within communities, to take action and drive progress forward towards that vision, to make it real for everybody.
Thank you.
career as an educator so meaningful and empowering?
I am Lord Joe. Well, I'm having a problem up here, hearing, and it's an echo or something in here. I'm not hearing it, but I just some of them, most of you can. But I'd like to ask you to repeat that question. I probably have an
Why was your career as an educator so meaningful and empowering?
Why
Your career as an educator so meaningful and empowering?
so miserable? That's a good question. It's because my children needed me, and I needed them. The world we live in is a world that needs people who are educated, not just educated for themselves, but to be able to help somebody else. And the fact that your education is going to carry you much further than having not an education. And that word says, if you say, ignorance is bad, try education, it's good. The life that we live, we need to know about our surroundings. We need to know about living with people. We need to be skilled in being something to help ourselves so that we don't have to always lean on somebody else. Education is the key to the lives that we touch in every occupation, in every situation. We need to be educated. Not in everything you can be skilled, but that you can do. God has given you a gift to do something that's going to help somebody else. But you sometimes have to find out what that something is. And for some of us, we may never find out. But every person, and no one's actually coming to serve, right? But every person who breathes, God is so good. God has given us a gift. We have to find out what it is sometimes. Some of us go early on, some of us go such a long way. Sometimes it takes a little longer for us to learn. But if we are going to stop the lie in the world that we live in, we must realize that we are all put here, I heard it earlier, for service. We're all here to give back. That's right. In whatever way we can. So we start by educating ourselves. What do I have to give back for the space occupying your earth? And the only way you can do that is to do that for yourself, with the guidance and the help that you are always surrounded with. But just find out what that is. And we do this again with whatever you got to do. That's right.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. We have one final question for all three of our Freedom Award honorees. Mr. Morial, we'll start with you. Then we'll go to Dr. Jones, and then Mr. Susan.
Hi, I'm Melina Jones, a senior at Middle College High School, and I participate in the Youth and Amendments program. What advice would you all give to young people who want to make a positive impact in their communities? And what can we do to make a difference?
That's a very good question. First of all, I want to congratulate you all because being here today means you're committed to making a difference. So we're going to give you all a round of applause, all the young people. When will we hit choir? Okay, I want to hear them. Just very quickly, that the next person is as important as you. And caring and showing compassion in your everyday life with your friends and family members, even when they get on your last nerve, is a very important way to give back. Then, pick one project. Pick one project. It may be something through the school, it may be something through the church, it may be something through the neighborhood. Pick one project and get really involved to make a difference. And you may pick a project and say, I'm going to do this for a year, and then a year later, I'm going to pick another project. It could be a range of things. One of the things you all have the power to do, you're all high schoolers, right? Who's in 12th grade? Raise your hand. Raise it high. 12th graders? Right, you're right. 10th, 11th graders? 10th graders? 9th graders? Any 8th graders in here? Got some 8th graders in here. Let me say this about those of you, particularly if you're in 11th and 12th grade. You can give back by talking to the 8th graders. You can give back by talking to the 9th graders. You can give back because when you go to college, and every 12th grade, y'all go to college, right? Say, I am. All of you are going to college. I want you to never forget to go back to your high school, your middle school, your junior high. You don't have to go for a long time. 1 hour, 2 hours. Go back, talk to some young people. Encourage them on their journey. Sometimes giving back is not that hard. It's sometimes so easy to do, and it's really rewarding. But it begins with caring about others, and it begins with compassion for others. So if you keep that in mind, you'll always be a servant to the people. So thank you for the question.
So Dr. Jones, the question was, what advice would you give to young people who want to make a positive impact in their communities, and what can we do to make a difference? So what advice would you give young people who want to make a positive impact in their communities, and what can we do to make a difference?
It all starts in your head. You gotta want to do something. Think about it. And nobody can think for you. And when they start thinking for you, you're not thinking for yourself. You listen and learn first as much as you can about what it is that you have an interest in. And you want to have an interest in that, what we call service. What can I do to make things better where I stand? Not where somebody else is standing. There's always enough to be done to make things better right where you are. Then they have to wait on somebody to tell you what to do. But you got to first want to do something for yourself. You've got to be willing to learn how to think. You need to learn how to read. And you need to learn how to do. The Lord has been good. Just waking you up and getting you started. But you've got to want to do. It always starts in the that's going to affect not you, but all
going to start to think about good things and learn as much as you can from anybody, even a baby, can teach you. It doesn't make you smile. So be attentive, listen, and learn, and do. Thank you.
Well, I don't think I can do better than my two fellow honorees, which is to start with people. I think sometimes what gets intimidating is you think of here we are being honored by the National Civil Rights Museum, and you think of Dr. King. Or you look at Ivy and you think of someone like Nelson Mandela, and you go, how can I possibly be? Those are giants. And they are giants. They were giants. They're inspiration. But they were giants who started by seeing other people, as individuals, as connecting with individuals, connecting with empathy, connecting with compassion, connecting with that human dignity. And it is that linkage that is what can drive change, that all of you need to get involved in some way, shape, or form. There's a great South African concept that some of you may have heard of, that Mandela used to talk about, called Ubuntu, which is the notion that a person is a person through other people. Your humanity comes from engaging. That's engaging through education and learning, whether it's with a baby, whether it's with a high schooler, whether it's an adult, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your community, whether it's more broadly. You are all engaged citizens. You have a community that you are proud to be part of. You can make a difference at every level, in your family, in your community, in your country. And this time, as much as any time, as you just heard from Dr. Murray, we need that engagement. So the thing is, don't feel powerless. Don't feel intimidated. Feel curious. Feel compassionate. Feel caring. And take action.
Thank you all so much. Today's conversations remind us, like Dr. Jones said, how much we gain when we listen, learn, and lead with purpose. Thank you for guiding us. It's an honor to be here.
Let's have another huge round of applause for the Cordova High School. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Now please welcome Dr. Wigginton.
Making a difference begins with seeing the need and deciding to take positive action. It's something any of us can do. That's the foundation of the Keeper of the Dream Award. We've received several nominations for remarkable young students vying to be chosen as Keepers of the Dream. It is inspiring to see how our youth are stepping up and using creativity, compassion, and courage to make their community strong. At the National Civil Rights Museum, we are proud of each and every one of them. Before we meet this year's honorees, I want to recognize parents, teachers, and community leaders who have supported and encouraged these students. Your guidance makes all the difference. To all our nominees, thank you for your leadership, your commitment, and your service. You are shining examples of what it means to be engaged citizens, and we are learning from you. Now, let's meet our 2025 Keeper of the Dream honorees.
I'm Christian Love.
I'm Carmen Shaker.
I'm Carlos Watkins, and we are the 2025 Keeper of the Dream Award winners.
My initiative is named the Caring Hands of Tennessee. Our project works to bridge the inequalities in healthcare and educational opportunities. Growing up, I saw many students that did not have the same educational opportunities as me. So I worked to bridge this gap by setting up tutoring opportunities and many other opportunities to get kids the same opportunities that I have. My advice would be to get started. If you see a problem in our community that you're passionate about, no matter how big or small your initiative is, just get started. I'm very honored to receive the Keeper of the Dream Award, and to me, this award is kind of like uplifting the legacy that the others before us have established.
The museum represents remembrance. Knowing where we come from and being able to come back to a place where there's so much history, we can learn and we can keep it going for generations and generations to come. The name of my initiative was Operation Purple House. I served as the Executive Director and Operations Manager. My initiative directly addresses the narrative that youth are lazy and that we don't want to do anything think for ourselves. But understand, we are the leaders of today and tomorrow, and we will achieve what we set out to achieve. My advice to you is if you're thinking about it, do it. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who want to achieve the same goals that you want to achieve.
My initiative is called Opportunity Bridge 901. My initiative closes the gap when it comes to equity within opportunity access, when it comes to summer programs, initiatives, and extracurricular opportunities. I noticed that in a lot of new leadership spaces, the same faces kept showing up. Not because other students weren't qualified to be in those spaces, but because they simply did not have access to the information they needed to access these opportunities. It feels very surreal to me. In 2018, I was able to attend the Freedom Award Student Forum, and I was so honored to meet Reverend Jesse Jackson. And I saw the Keeper of the Dream honorees then, and the Freedom Award honorees then, and I was like, one day I'm going to be like them and create meaningful change in my community. And now, here I am. I would say, if you have an idea, even if it's a small idea, even if you're not sure if you're old enough or the right person to act on this idea, act on it. Because you never know whether your idea can create meaningful change in our community. And through action, we can all continue to keep the dream that Martin Luther King bestowed upon us alive. To me, the National Civil Rights Museum represents celebrating history, teaching history, and make sure history does not go untold. Because when history is not continually taught and reinforced, we have the potential of repeating the same problems that happened in the past.
Thank you guys so much. We're proud that each year at the Student Forum, outstanding young people are honored with the Keeper of the Dream Award. As you can see, they've done amazing things. And I'm proud to be one of those people as the 2024 Keeper of the Dream honoree. Now, let's meet our first 2025 Keeper of the Dream honoree, Christian Love. Operation Purple House, a project transforming community spaces
Right now, we're finna go get interviews with all 3 of the Keeper of the Dream Award winners. Stay tuned, Mustang Nation.
But I want you to enjoy and remember the words of Dr. Reeves. Keep up the Dream Awardees. Congratulations.
still alive too.
Is it already recorded?
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Congrats, Frank.
I mean, all the work, I better get somebody better give me something. God.
I was yelling, boy.
Yeah, you was yelling out of nowhere.
I was like,
Just bro, come on, bro. Forget the top.
Okay.
Forget the top.
we over here live and everything. Okay, y'all ready?
Are we centered? We right? We good?
We good.
Okay.
Mind you, we're live. Okay.
Let me stand on my word. How about this?
Y'all ready? Yes.
Why am I holding my hands, right?
Good morning. It's a beautiful, well, I should say afternoon almost. It's a beautiful afternoon, Mustang Nation. I'm here with one of our very own, Carlos Watkins. Congratulations, Carlos, for getting such a monumentous award, carrying on the legacy of Corey Irby, who got it last year. How are you feeling right now in this moment?
Well, you know, it's always an honor. The dream of Dr. King is still going on. The work will never stop. As long as we don't have to knock the wall down at one time, as long as we chisel away at it. This is 3 times that Memphis East High School has walked away with this award, so it sets a great precedent and it sets a great standard for future Mustangs to come. We need somebody from East every single year to win the Keep Our Dream Award.
What would you say inspired you to apply for this award and to even think that you could get this award?
The narrative. The narrative is that youth today are lazy, that we don't want to work, that we don't want to put in the hard dedication and work ethic. But I feel as though, and I've always said, we are the leaders of today and tomorrow. And so that work ethic is definitely there. And this is just more proof of why it's so important for us to do what it is that we do.
And Carlos, if you had one piece of advice to go out to anyone who hopes to get this award and stand in your shoes next year, as far as community engagement and empowering their school and their community, what would you say to them?
I would say don't be afraid to engage. Those meaningful conversations are often the most controversial conversations. Just like Ms. Louise said, a voteless people is a hopeless people. If we don't stand up for ourselves, if we don't take that charge and that lead to be able to prove to ourselves and to our ancestors that we can do more than pick cotton. We can rise above the circumstances, and we can rise above the challenges, and we can finish the dream and the motion of the civil rights movement.
Thank you, Carlos. We hope to see you again, getting more awards, representing East. Thank you so much for your time today, man.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're gonna get the other ones. Yes, sir. Come on over. What's up, Christian?
What's up? I'm Christian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My name is Eric Pope. I'm gonna look at the camera right here. All right, Christian. My first question for you is, what made you try to achieve this dream? What's your inspiration for standing here in front of us today?
So I would honestly say I noticed that a lot of my friends always asked me for opportunities for different ways to get involved, and I also noticed a lot of students didn't know how to get involved. So I was like, why don't I, in a formal capacity, decide to bridge that gap and make a way for all students to have access to leadership and extracurricular opportunities?
What would you say to anyone hoping to do what you're doing, to follow in your footsteps, to carry on the legacy of the past Keep Her the Dream Award and Freedom Award winners of the past, present, and future?
I would say stay grounded in history, remember history, make sure that in all that you're doing, you're remembering those who came before you, not just Keeper of the Dream Award winners, Freedom Award winners, and actual civil rights figures. So I want to say stay grounded in history, and if you have any idea, even if it's a small idea, act on it, because you never know whether your idea could create large change in the community.
And just shout out someone that has been your personal staple that's kept you grounded, because I know in a space that you're in, it gets a lot of stress, putting together community events, going out, fitting everything into your schedule. So name somebody in your life that has been a mentor to you and a grounder for you.
I'm actually going to give multiple shout outs first. I want to shout out Bridges Youth Action Center for helping me support this project, making sure that I had the support necessary to get it off the ground. And I want to thank my mom. She's really my rock, always giving me support. And I also want to thank my grandma. She always gives me support as well. So those are my 3 people I want to thank.
Thank you so much, man. I'm so proud of you and every one of you winners, because you're representing a black community. You're representing what an African American should be in America, and you're keeping that dream of Martin Luther King alive. So thank you. Continue to do amazing things, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We still got one more. Yes, ma'am. All right. Hey, remind me of your first name one more time. Pragna? Okay, thank you so much. All right. I don't think I need to do the intro again since we're live, but hey, it's a good afternoon, Mustang Nation, and we're here with Pragna, one of the Keeper of the Dream Award winners. Just let us in on some of the inside information. How do you get here today?
You just find a problem that you see in your community and you just build a solution for it. It doesn't matter what problem it is, how big or small it is, just create an initiative, and as soon as people see you making real change or making impact, people will join in.
And like I asked Christian, who are, or multitude of people who have kept you grounded, and just touch on the stress level and how you handle that and keeping your mental health in check.
So I'm gonna shout out 3 people: my mother, my father, and my co-president, Delina. So I grew up a lot. I spent a lot of time with my father, and there's only one mission or like solution that he put into me: always help people around you. And my mom, she was the same way. Anyone that she saw on the street, she would always make sure to go to a closest fast food restaurant, buy them sandwiches, and just donate it to them. And being around that type of people growing up, it kind of showed me that if you see a problem on the street, if you see people on the street, you just don't drive by them. You have to help them out. And with my co-founder, Delina, as you know, White Station is a really competitive school.
Oh, yeah.
So stress levels can really reach like a breaking point. But she really made sure that she was motivating me. My junior year, I took 8 APs, so it was really stressful. And at some points, I was like, is this initiative even gonna last my junior year? Because there would be 8 hours of homework and there would be 3 hours of planning the next event. But she was like, no, this is not your limit. Your limit is 5 miles away from here, so you need to go reach that. And then when I would reach that, she'd be like, you're not there yet, you gotta go a little further.
Keep going.
Yeah, so having someone like that, she's my best friend, having a best friend like that really pushing you, it kind of reduces your stress and it makes you reach your full potential.
And what advice would you give to anyone hoping to fill your shoes, to come behind you all and do as much as you, if not better? You know what I'm saying? What would you say to anybody who had a dream that isn't confident within themselves to continue what you guys are doing?
First thing I would say is do not think about any awards you're going to receive. Think about the people you're going to help, or even the person you're going to help. So when you close your eyes and you think of the solution, the problem that you see in your community, think of someone going through that problem and really envision yourself in their shoes and think about what they need to be uplifted. And what you think that they need, you go and you create that solution in your community, and the awards will come, the recognitions will come, but make sure you're making a real impact in your community.
And I love what you said there. And one more thing, because a lot of people get mixed up in planning these community events and making sure that the community gets what they need, and they worry about pleasing everyone. And it's a hard thing to do. So how do you overcome that?
Don't think about the community, think about the community, but don't think about what people think of you. Because whatever you do, there will probably be someone saying negative about it. So just think about the positive that you're doing for your community, and think about how you're helping your community, and just think about the people you're helping.
Thank you so much for this interview, Progna. It's been amazing watching the forum, watching the performances throughout it, hearing you guys, hearing the ones before you, hearing the freedom. It's just an overall amazing experience. I'm so proud of you for what you're doing for the Memphis community and the community in general. This is an amazing and monumental thing, and I hope that you can go home and go celebrate and go party and have dinner or whatever. Thank you so much for this interview. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
That was a great interview. And with that, Mustang Nation, we have concluded the 2025 Student Forum or the Keeper of the Dream Award. I hope to see you guys bright and early Monday morning after fall break. Signing off.